Howdy everyone, it's me once again, the one and only Killer Rodan. So yes, more live insurance content. Oh boy, yeah, quite a bit more. Oh boy. Well, I did make that promise I would do more content related to this, other than the gameplay throughs. I'm trying to be a person of my word. That's all I'm saying. I'm trying to be a man of my word, right? Anyway, issue 10. We're almost done here. Almost done. So issue 10, like I said, I really like this cover. It's very colorful and it's definitely really reflective of Max and the whole thing with the butterfly, the blue one and whatnot. And this really plays into the grand schema theme of the issue because she realized she has to go back to her reality. She eventually has to go back to her reality. So it makes sense in the context of the overall story. So the other cover I would say, yes, this makes a screenshot of Hovo dorm with a bunch of pictures, I guess you can say. So it does make sense. Again, she has to go back to reality. She eventually has to go back. And yeah, I like this. So it's kind of giving me a little hints of what's going to eventually happen, what must happen. She cannot stay in this reality forever. And she knows that. And the other characters, they also know that. So, okay. So, in here, the third cover, so this one here with the skull, it does look pretty grim. So it looks pretty dark, pretty gloomy. So I guess as a way to give a signature of that of death and whatnot. So okay, so there was that I reckon. So I like this cover. It's very detailed. The fact that it's not colored, it's just picture art, makes them even more grim. I like that. So anyway, so there was that of course. And yes, of course, we get some again like before some shots of the previous events, like a recap again. But then we get to see that who was behind this issue, and they actually do a fairly decent job on what they're trying to do here. I like that. Not too shabby, I suppose. But anyway, moving on from that, so it's pretty crazy, I guess. Like always, of course, I do have the top of the plot. So let's just get into it, shall we? So here we go. Oh, definitely. So in this one, you can see that at Chloe's job, Chloe is a mechanic, which again seems fitting. The character Chloe is wants to surprise Rachel because she wants to do something very special for her. She wants to give her a vehicle, of course, pretty much. This is actually really sweet, though. This is actually really sweet. This goes to show you that Chloe deeply cares for Rachel, and it really shows her. This is really sweet. She's been fixing up this one car and whatnot, and it's a surprise. There you go. This car is for you. Like I said, this is really nice. They've been obviously planning things to do things together. Quite obviously, they want to do stuff together, and of course, they want to do certain things and just do as a couple, which does make sense in the grand scheme of things. Because if you're a couple, obviously you want to do things together. You want to plan things ahead of time. You want to, of course, maybe plan a trip, and maybe you want to surprise your lover, your partner, whoever you want to call that. You want to make sure that this other individual you care for is really cared for. I mean, really is happy. Like you take what they desired for what they want to do for their lives. Maybe have special occasions. You have to think about what they want to do. That's really the attention to that kind of thing. It just goes to show you that in this reality, these two really have a lot going on. They really have like an entire life uh, together. So they actually live together as well. Does make me keep in mind that even Star Wars, the expanded universe, had done some hypothetical what if situations were not canon to the mainline events, but kind of like a side thing to some extent, I guess, just to see how things would have played out. Otherwise, that wouldn't be allowed in the in the main canon. So we're gonna take things how they were played differently, I suppose. So I'm guessing that's pretty interesting right there. That's there you go. And that's how I kind of took this, how some things were played differently. And in this timeline, of course, obviously, Max and Chloe never became a thing. because quite clearly Rachel and Chloe are the couple. I guess it goes on from Life is Strange before the story man just went on from so assuming. This makes me think. Okay, so I guess the events from Life is Strange before story does that mean that those events happened, but from that point forward it didn't. By which I mean, if you play the games, you know what I'm talking about. You know what happened to Rachel if you played the games. So does that mean Life is Strange Before the Storm did happen up to a certain point? I guess to a certain extent. I guess you can say. One criticism I brought up before is that yeah, the relationship status between Rachel and Chloe is not really well determined. It's not real structured in the sense that will they be okay with a three relationship? I mean, yes, I know they're supposed to be dating, so I'm guessing I guess for in an alternate timeline, Life is Strange Before the Storm did happen, but to an extent, I guess it happened to an extent. And if you played the video games, you know what happened to Rachel. You know what happened. So I'll leave it at that. So I'm guessing she must have survived in this alternate timeline. So what I mean, the thing is that Rachel and Chloe, they're definitely a happy couple in the alternate timeline. So in the alternate timeline, yes, it's more well defined, is what I'm getting at, and that's fine. I'm just trying to go back in the what do you say the original timeline where this Max came from. Would they be okay with having a third wheel? Yeah, I mean, yes, you could argue that jealousy would arise, which yes will become a thing, and that's okay because people are flawed, people have feelings, and you can always try to set some kind of ground rules. You can set the best ground rules, but I mean, I know that's not going to prevent everything, but still, it's just sort of being certain things. Could that be a possibility here? Would that be accepted here? Of course. I don't know. I'm obviously looking too much into something, of course, obviously, but I'm just saying. It doesn't seem far fetched from reality if you want to make something more realistic, I guess you would say. But still, I would like specifications when it comes to relationship would have been explored more. I mean, I know that sounds kind of nitpicky. I'm just saying though. Okay, the comic books credit. Those are one thing I did find actually pretty interesting. Where Max has a conversation with this reality's Rachel, because Rachel, with this version of Rachel, she asks about the other Rachel. Because again, if you know, you know. So what she's wondering what happened to the other Rachel. Again, if you know, you know. But basically, the idea is that Max doesn't bring up the fact that the possibilities are endless. It's not like an endless loop. I guess you can say there's like a huge number of endless possibilities. A number of, like the one phrase, a fork in the road, I guess. There's like numerous possibilities in the multiverse. There's so many different things you could have done. Yes, this alternate reality of Rachel does wonder what the other Rachel became. But the thing is that this version of Rachel doesn't seem to understand what happened really because she's clueless about it. But the this Max just tells this Rachel is that well you lived for one. Again, if you know, you know. So it just still kind of bugs the question that Max herself could have saved the other Rachel, but whatever, I guess. But I actually thought this was a pretty interesting thing here because it looks like an endless possibility. What could have been like a whole multiverse. There's like so many things it could have done. So this implies that this is like a multiverse kind of a thing. So there's many versions of Rachel. So of course, what you decide now, what you decide to do now, could affect your later self in the future, which is true actually. But anyway, this is definitely one of the better issues I've read, so it's a pretty solid one. I'll give this an overall rating of a 6.8 out of 10 because a 6.8 out of 10 for me. But as always, for watching, see ya. Oh yeah.